do like to care about people as well. So all of those things. So it's a very quick journey tonight, but come on, this is what it's about. Pretty much income streams, property, life. Does that sound about right? Yes? Yeah. So what is it? Really, you should say these out loud. So if you repeat after me.
I love property.
I love property. Does anyone like doing everything? No. So we don't like doing everything. Is some of it, you've heard about Rob talking about it, you want to outsource?
Leverage everything.
Leverage.
Life, yeah.
Absolutely. But what about I want to increase my income? Does that sound right? Are we in the, I want to increase my income. Thank you, David. Perfect. Some of you stayed with the plan. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. This is what we're all here to do. We're trying to increase our income, whatever strategy it is, and whatever tactics you can use to help your strategy. So you might be thinking, well, so what? Well, obviously we need to find property. You need deals. But you can't do everything, we know that already, you've admitted to that, and we need to outsource, but you need a funnel of leads. Now, one of the things is how do you get that funnel, and I know there's going to be some really good tactics spoken, and these dovetail really nicely tonight, so you're in for a treat, because you're looking at how you do it, and often you're looking at sort of, okay, how do you get an advert out there? How do you tell the world about yourself? How do you tell the world about what you do, how you want to help people, how they can help you? So some form of advert has to go out there, and it could be someone standing here, like this, or it could be other normal channels that you've heard of. What we're talking about though for this is we're looking to get people to opt in to something. If you're not sure what an opt-in is, who's on Facebook? Pretty much most people, in order to get onto Facebook, you opted in. In other words, you gave them your details and you're on their system. We're looking at then following it up with an email sequence. So we've all done it where we sort of get emails from people and you sort of think, well, I don't remember that, how did that happen? But this is how you keep in contact with people, because contacts, would you say that relationships are built on contacts? Yeah? Just spoke to Naz and she was saying, look, I'm out there all the time. You know, I'm absolutely killing it out there with contacts and what have you, and it's coming into me. People are now bringing it into me. This is important. This is really important. And obviously, you can ultimately get a deal, potentially get a deal there. In essence, the advert is the social media marketing. David's going to be talking about how you can build a brand. Mine is focusing more on how you put an advert together and how you can target those adverts. Okay. So, what this means to you, what this could mean to you, you could have a super focused targeting system that absolutely nails it. Have we got someone, a lady coming in? Here we go. Come on in, you're just in time for me.
Hello.
No, take a seat, have a seat. Have a seat.
Sorry.
So, all right. So, you can have something where hopefully more deals are coming to you. And here's the key thing, for those of you who don't want to do everything, how hard is it to ask someone else to do something when you don't really understand what you're asking them to do? Pretty hard, yes? Yeah. So if you understand how it works, do you think that will make it easy to instruct someone else? Yes? Yes. Okay. So then you can outsource the bits that you don't want to do. And fundamentally, crucially, you can manage those results. So if you're aware as to what their performance should be, and you know what they should be doing, then you can measure it. I know a few people who've used Teams to do their digital marketing, and they're paying them $1,000 a month. And I said, what are the results like? And they sort of, well, they tell me they're quite good. Ooh, that kind of sounded vague, wishy-washy, and maybe not value for money. So understand the system, and then you can ask other people to do it, and you can manage it. And obviously, more deals should mean more money. Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Why? I'm not going to talk about that. You should all have your why. If you haven't got your why, you need to go back to day one on wherever you came in on your property journey. If you're still struggling with your why, come and have a chat with me, and I might be able to help you a little bit on that. But we're looking for the difference between failure and success. A sat-nav. Two things you need for a sat-nav, and don't. One of them isn't the satellite. We're assuming that's already there. Okay. You need to know where you are and where you want to go. And often people know one, but not both. Okay, so you need to be clear on that. Your mindset, going to talk a little bit more about how our conditioning affects our mindset. And it's pretty hard to overcome it. Has anyone else found it hard to overcome mindset? Maybe sometimes. If I said, we're pinging. Here we go. If I said money, I've said this to some people and they physically went pale and felt sick about money. And I don't know if it was because they had a worry at that particular time or not. But that is as a result of your conditioning about something. So if you're looking to make deals, if you're looking to advertise, if you're thinking, I want to be an advertiser, I want to be a marketer, you've probably already got a preconceived notion about selling. And your preconceived notion is probably your conditioning saying that selling is not good. I don't like selling, and what have you. Guys, if you don't like selling what you're doing, then you're doing the wrong thing. So if you've got a property out there and you're wanting tenants in, you are selling that property to those tenants. You've got to get good with it. The rich mindset, who's read Secrets of a Millionaire Mind? Okay, read it and read the bit about the wealthy mindset and the poor mindset. It is absolutely so obvious, but it's perfectly described. If you are not willing to promote your values, your beliefs, your products, your services, you are never going to get to a level of wealth. Okay. And also, the wealthy look at an opportunity. If someone presents them with an opportunity, they go, I'm going to take that because I can see there's one nugget in there and I'm going to get it. Have you ever heard that the poor sometimes focus on a donut, focus on the hole in the middle, and wonder why they end up with nothing? It's one of those things. So money. But ultimately success is, in my opinion, success comes down to one thing, and it comes down to a feeling. At the end of it all, why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Why? Comes down to a feeling. Make sure you have that feeling all the way on and off, all the way through your journey. Don't think it's going to be right there at the end. So, here we go. Some mindset examples. Give me the answer. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. You can't always get what you want. All good things must come to an end. Good things come to those who wait. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. What goes up must come down. You can't have your cake and eat it. What's the point of the cake? You can't teach. New tricks. Now, there are some in the room that are spring chickens, but there's by no means all of us. So we might even fall into that. Absolutely. Business before. Don't blow your own. If at first you don't succeed. No, maybe skydiving's not for you. Okay. There are some that could be quite useful though. So, you reap what you sow. There might be something in that. Okay. But look at all these. All these are saying you can't have both. You can't have this, you can't do that. It's all negative, it's all negative. And we grow up with all these, so it's really hard sometimes to overcome these. But, let's move on to some of this. So on the how. Okay, you've got property. Traditionally, and we're moving on from this. These are the ones, estate agents, letting agents, they're still there. Drive, walkie patch, get to know it. We know those sort of things. Newspapers and the printed media. Leaflets and other things like that. You know, these are traditional things. And I know that everyone's moving now into social media and looking at things like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, your website, your blog. And Facebook can be, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it is, can be a combination of adverts as well as content about you and what you are doing, how you are helping people. Okay. Should we have a look? I'm going to try and go into this live and have a look at some of the powerful things. I've got a few slides, so if we can't get in, I can come back and show you some slides, but just bear with me whilst I try and log in. So I'm going to go into Twitter first of all. Who's on Twitter? Who does adverts on Twitter? Who didn't even realise you could do adverts on Twitter? Okay. Right. So let's pull it back up. So on here, hopefully you can see things all right. So this is one of my accounts. You recognise it? Yeah. Up there. Yeah, just a little one of me. And what I've done it here, I'm on the ads section. So if you haven't done anything in Twitter advertising-wise, you won't get this. but this isn't about talking you through the steps. This is showing you the power of how you can target things. Because would you agree that you need to have in your mind who your customer is?
Yes.
Yes.
It's known as an avatar. So it could be you need to know everything about it, because have a conversation with your avatar rather than just a blank wall or door or something like that. Because if you can have a conversation with your avatar, you understand what their problem is, what their pain is, how you can solve it. So I'm just thinking on here. So I'm setting up a campaign. You don't need to worry about what you call it. What I want to do is just bring you down to how you can select your audience. Audience, I like that. It sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds like people are ready to listen, doesn't it? Hi, come on in.
Hi.
So we're looking at Twitter ads. Are you a Twitter ad aficionado?
I'll be honest, not so much.
Okay, if you want to just leave.
That's
Oh, no. Take a seat. Let's see if we can show you something. So, if we come down here, you can see here, select additional audience features. Okay, that's intriguing. I wonder what that is. Now, I was just thinking to myself, okay, if you were looking in a particular area and you wanted to help landlords who are fed up with what's going on, what's happening to them and their tenants, I wonder if maybe they watch a bit of TV. Now then, I wonder if they watch something like Nightmare Tenants, Slum Landlords. Ooh. Now, do you think whilst they're watching that programme, they might be a bit keen and say, I'm fed up of those bloody tenants. I want to get rid. So if you targeted people in the UK who are watching this show, maybe they are in their hot zone, ready to do something, take some action. So would it be interesting if we put an advert in front of them whilst they're on Twitter saying, can't believe those bloody tenants, #nightmare, or something like that? Would that be useful to put something in front of them? What about, hold on, what about,
Get some sort of response.
yeah, what about you want to sell to people and people are really keen to buy a property because it looks so easy? Homes under the hammer? Perhaps you could target something there? Yeah? Hey, I've met him. Yeah. But can you see, wouldn't that be interesting if you can actually target the people who are interested in that programme and maybe put an advert in front of them and time the advert to even appear as the programme is going out? Put it under the relevant hashtags as well. So put the relevant hashtags. So if someone's following that trending programme, your advert could be appearing right in front of them as they do it. Okay, so you might be thinking to yourself, okay, I need to know a little bit more about them. So if you get down to behaviours, you can browse the categories and you can have a look and you can say, okay, what's the household? What sort of house is this relevant to? And you could say, oh, now then, well, people living in a terrace. So not only could you put it in front of the person who might be very hot in terms of I want to get rid of a property, I want to buy a property, you could put it in front of people who actually live in the properties or who have a property that fits that very target that you're looking for. So is this useful?
Yeah.
New cars, you could find out what sort of car they have. You could have a look at their finance. Well, we need to go for someone with money. Let's have a look at the people who are likely to earn more than 75 grand a year. This is insane. Now, the one thing that you should not be at this point thinking is, how does Twitter know all this? Forget that.
It just
It does, exactly. It just does. So take advantage of it. Now, you can then put your adverts in here, and what's your advert doing? Your advert is piquing their curiosity so that they click on it, and when they do, there's an opt-in box. And that opt-in box is saying, hey, maybe I could help you out. Here's a free top 10 tips for dealing with nightmare tenants. Oh, that'd be useful. Yeah, I'll put my email in. So there's someone else on your list. If they're interested in that, they might be interested in a solution to it. Put them in your email sequence. Your email sequence is then, hey, I saw you did this, yeah, I've had nightmare tenants. I'm a landlord. You know, are you a landlord as well? Oh, yeah.
Hello, sorry.
That's all right. So you can put it in front of people, and then with the email follow-ups, you can sort of talk them through it, put them on a journey. Hey, look, I found this. Did you find tip number 5? Sorted a lot of problems out, and they probably go, God, I can't remember what it was. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's engaging people in a conversation. And if you've then got deals, if you can then get an email out there and say, oh, just have a look at this. If you were interested in properties, what sort of band would you be interested in? Under 50 grand, 50 to 100, 100 to 150? When you get those deals in, and it's in a certain level, who are you going to target? All of them again, obviously, because people often underestimate what they might have, but you could certainly focus in on those that perhaps have the money and the inclination to do it. Sound interesting?
Yeah.
Sound useful? Yeah, absolutely. So how are we doing for time? Have we got time to just have a look at...
Yeah.
Let's have a
Cost of
very...
that, Nigel, if you don't mind me asking, what's the cost of advertising in Twitter?
Okay, let's... here we go. Here we go. So I'll just scroll down. So it doesn't quite fit on here. So I've got people in on that. And what you can do here is you can say, I'm going to spend the princely sum of £1 per day. And never a penny more shall pass my purse into this pot. However, what you'll find is over here, it's saying, okay, with this criteria, this is potentially how many people might click and put in their email details. Okay? So obviously, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I can only handle, you know, if I follow up with a phone call or follow it up, I don't really want too many, so £1 a day is great. And I can run it for a week and see if I get any success. Or I can run it each day on the time that the programs are on, which Homes Under the Hammer is about 23.5 hours a day, I think, with all the repeats and what have you. But for something like that, you can say, right, look, I'll put 20 quid in. What would the traditional things have cost you? A leaflet drop or something like that? It might have cost you 50 quid or something to put 1,000 out, but you don't know how many of those 1,000 are actually people that you are targeting. So in this, it will give you an estimate, and it depends how you drill into it as to what you do. And what I would always suggest is test small, and it could be 3 quid a day or something, and say do it for 7 days, total budget £21. At that point, your advert will suspend, and you'll start getting some analytics, and you can see what they're doing. Now, you've all got one of these. You can get stats on what sort of phones you're actually looking at it on. So I can tell what model phone you're using when this comes in as well. Twitter. These things, you can find out everything, but they also tell everyone else everything. But you need to understand how to get into it, to access the info, to be told. Yes, sir?
Can you do the same thing on LinkedIn?
Advertising
on LinkedIn as well.
Yes, I haven't got into LinkedIn advertising as such.
I have.
Do you have? Have you done much on LinkedIn advertising, David? You have as
I
well.
have, yeah. I use it for the company I work for, and that was my first experience of targeted ads. And in some respects, they were probably ahead of this. And you can target obviously different people. You know, it's
Absolutely.
You think, well,
Right.
tradition is that a lot of professional people on it. So yeah.
And bear in mind that LinkedIn, a lot of people are still looking for jobs. And the thing with this is, Twitter's very cheap. LinkedIn, there can be a lot of competition for certain things, and obviously where there's competition, price escalates very quickly. Just quickly.
I was thinking the same, Nigel. Is it same across all platforms, like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or does it vary in terms of cost and targeting?
It varies, and it varies with what you're trying to do and where you're trying to put it. So if you wanted to do something in America, in a highly competitive market, you will be paying an awful lot for your clicks and your conversions and your info. But is that what you're looking for? So I'm going to flip over to Facebook. Does anyone run Facebook ads? Okay, a few of you. Good? Useful? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to show one thing on here. Okay, so this is within creating an advert. And what you can do is, so we are in Leeds. Let it catch up. There's the A1. don't want to search. Thank you. But let's just say, there we are. We're going to drop a pin right there because that is your target spot. Okay? What you can even do then is you can narrow it down and say, I want to hit every single person in there with my criteria that lives within 1 mile of that spot. And if you wanted it as a brand awareness, which is where you are just saying who you are, so it's just a general advert, you know, promoting your logo, your brand, whatever it might be, it would hit everyone on Facebook within there. And again, you can see it's giving you information about how many people are in there. So if you're looking at a gold mine area, if you're looking at a specific zone, you can target it in there, and then you can again look at their interests. What are they up to? What are they doing? When do they do it? Who do they do it with? It's scary. It's all there. The metrics are all there, and you can put as much money as you want into this. Aside from property, a lot of people are doing what they call affiliate marketing. That sounds scary to some people, but just work on the basis that supermarkets are affiliates. They're selling other people's products. Pretty much everyone sells someone else's products, and you're the middleman. So you're trying to put an advert out there in front of people saying, hey, are you interested in this? For this example, you're saying, hey, are you interested in selling me your property? Or are you interested in me solving your property crisis? Or are you interested in buying a property? And what have you. And you can put that in front of people wherever you happen to want to be. Okay? So with all the interests, and you can pay whatever you want. The kind of accepted, and it depends on what you do and what scale you do it. But if you've got someone on your email list, $1 a month per person on average, depending on what you're saying or putting in front of people, could be what it's worth. So getting people onto your list, on your opt-ins, putting an advert in front of them, making them think, oh, I can't believe it, I was just watching Nightmare Tenants, Slum Landlords, after Homes Under the Hammer, and I couldn't work out if I wanted to buy one or sell one. Look at that advert, I can do both. Holy moly, perfect. Oh, and this top 10 free list, of things I can do. Right, email, done, they're in. And that's in your database for you to send stuff out and say, hey, are you struggling with a property? No, I'm actually looking for one. Great, here you go, here's one. So can you kind of get an inkling of the power of this and how targeted you can get? And whereas in the past they always used to say, there's a guy that David will know as well, Sean, he used to work in marketing, 80s, 90s, and he said a TV campaign, it costs $500,000. It costs $500,000 to make the advert as well, so that's $1 million in, and it might run for 2 weeks, 30-second adverts at a time when everyone in the break got up and made a cup of tea. And the answer was, does it work? Oh yeah, 50% works. Problem was they didn't know which 50%. In this, you start getting feedback immediately. So you could run an advertising campaign for 2 days and get an idea as to whether it's going to work or not. You can get more and more sophisticated. You can use Facebook pixels, which are like cookies, which track people, and you can retarget them and do lots more. But what I wanted to do tonight was just to kind of say to you, hey folks, look, there's a whole world out there that, is quite fascinating, scary, but extremely exciting, and something that you really all need to consider. Okay, if I understand it, at least I can get someone else to do it. Or I'm going to have a go myself first of all. Choice is yours. Now then, these are some of the screenshots I did just in case things didn't work. But I'll leave you with this. How about this? In Twitter, you can select to put it in front of people who are followers of somebody. So if you wanted to target anyone that follows Rob Moore, all you need to do is put in @Rob Progressive, and that advert will appear in front of all people that like Rob Moore. Now, there's a great tip, Tony Robbins. You heard of Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
Okay, Tony Robbins, you can do that with Tony Robbins, and you can tell people that like Tony Robbins stuff. because you can put an advert on there saying, hey, look, Tony Robbins is coming to your area. Do you fancy going? And there are some high hundreds, if not $1,000 commissions for getting people to those events. So would that be useful to put it in the front of the person that likes him? Guys, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, there was my thing about the drill in, so you can put it there. 1X. You know, what am I looking at? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Well, the thing is, if you want to focus on your income, your freedom, choices, time, having some fun. Have you seen these things? Tiny. Normally you take a great long sort of URL and you can condense it and you can even personalize it. So if you did a tiny.cc Nigel ppn, so take a photo of that and see if it works, because that is to my opt-in, which I created in about 4.5 minutes on there, which puts you into an email list. And there's not much on the email, it's just a bit of fun. But it's something that kind of shows how you can do it. If it doesn't work, I'll blame the person who did it. Damn, that was me. But hopefully it does. Hopefully it does, and you'll get just something from me, just sort of saying thank you. But all I say is, you know, come on, folks, let's get going on this. So my name's Nigel Best. Thank you very much.